Hello, everyone. This is Andy Hall. You're here. We're here. I don't know what we're doing, but apparently we do it every month.
Apparently, once a month we get together and make fun of shit. That's what we do.
We make fun of shit. Partly improv, part social commentary, but nothing but fun and alcohol. Everyone, Neil, introduce yourself. Tell people how awesome you are.
How awesome I am? Well, yeah. I don't know if that sounds like self-flagellation or something. Oh wait, no, that's when you whip yourself and stuff. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now we're talking. Don't kink shame me, motherfucker. Anyway, so I'm Neil, the 604 Atheist, and I do a little show here on the YouTubes called Deconversion Stories, and I've had both of these. Oops, no, there we go. Both of these fine fellows on the show before, and so much so that this guy right here ended up becoming my producer for the show. But we also do. Yeah, we also do. Well, we're going to be doing the True North Talk with Randolph Richardson. So look for that over on the True North Talk channel. Should be a lot of fun. And Dave says I'm awesome. So
good old Dave.
It's actually Dave that's awesome because he became one of our regulars for the blood donation thing that we do every 56 days. So you're going to see him soon. Because another one's coming up.
Awesome. And Mr. Famine.
There we go.
Nice. I'm Mikey Famine, creature of the YouTube sphere. I have several shows that I do every week. I hang out with Neil on his show. He didn't say the days of his show, which is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Everyone there in the chat knows.
Well, you gotta. Someone may not. For the uninitiated, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays. Wednesdays, I have DOA, a political podcast. And then my flagship show, The Bin Podcast, is on Thursdays, 2 p.m. Central. That's where me and four of my international friends, we discuss the week's politics and social issues and generally just make fun of each other. It is a blasty blast.
Excellent. I might as well say hello to everyone in the chat while I'm still sober. I haven't had a drop yet today, but as I've noticed, if you're going to graph it, my ability to interact with anyone, to tell you the truth, it's dramatically lower the more alcohol I have. So, Derek, hello. Abram, I like that. That's pre-Abram.
Fellow Canadian. I got a new work phone. The new.
Hey, look at you.
Yeah, it's all fancy.
Look at you.
Yeah. Does it do the coin sound?
No, it does not.
Oh, well then, sorry, Neil. You got to throw that thing in the garbage. Go get your old phone.
No. I do have my old phone, but that's my work phone.
Oh, okay.
So people who regularly come over here once a month to do who watch Atheists Drinking Out Loud will know that Seamus is not here. Seamus has a new job. It's thrown off his time schedule. So Seamus will hopefully be joining us next month.
Hopefully.
I'm the new Seamus. Sorry, Seamus. We didn't know how to break it to you. He's being very coy about this, but I am now. Can I change? Let me change my name real quick. How do you spell Seamus? Jesus.
S-E-A-M-U-S. That's how he spells it, at least.
Yeah.
Ooh, like
it's not
Sam.
shame us, like shame S-H-A-M-E and then us, which it should be because we should be shamed.
All right. So, what are you gentlemen drinking?
The usual, my Alexander Keith's India Pale Ale, because it's pretty much the best thing I can get at the liquor store here. They got a bunch of other weird beers, but I've tried a bunch of them and they just don't sit right with me. And there's no good dark beers that I can pick up around here, which sucks. Not at least I can go to a pub and get it, but I'm not paying to every 5 minutes run down there and grab another mugful.
No, not at all. How about yourself?
You don't have wheelbarrow? You don't have wheelbarrows up there?
Wheelbarrows?
Yeah, just wheel it back home. It's very easy to move that way.
I could just empty out the antifreeze truck, give it a good spray out, and then load it up with dark stuff. That'd be awesome.
Just run a hose.
Just pipe it in by the
hose. If you're on the second, third floor, you just get a longer hose. You just up in there.
If you don't mind, 45 liters per second coming into your mouth, then yeah, you're good.
Thought you were a man's man, Neil. Thought you knew how to drink. Good gosh.
Good drink.
So I have the fancy ice cubes that I bought, the little clear guys, which are purified water. I got a
Ice
little,
is usually clear.
a little Jim Beam Peach,
Ooh,
and a good friend of mine, Gosling's Ginger Beer,
Oh,
nice.
very nice.
and a little wedge of lime, just kind of smooshed at the bottom. Oh, we're having ourselves a proper cocktail today.
Very nice. Very nice.
Goddamn bartender or something.
Mixology is just one of the things that I'm interested in.
Oh, awesome.
Cool. I myself have a Lord Hobo. Got some boom sauce here working.
Nice.
Go. Get out of here, cat.
Oh, wow.
Look at Mikey's
Yeah,
already
good.
chasing away the pussy.
Yo, it's not Mikey.
Oh, that's right. Seamus Prime. That's right.
That's right.
He's gonna be so bad. I love you, Seamus. I'm sorry. The joke is there. If the joke is there, I gotta go for it. Apologize after.
That's right.
Ask for forgiveness is better than asking for permission. It's not something.
That's yeah.
Easier to ask for
exactly.
forgiveness than to ask for permission. Yeah.
Yeah, just do the thing first and let it play out afterwards.
Yeah. You might not even
Yeah.
see this one.
Seamus
So-
Prime, doesn't that make you Primus? Ah.
Hey.
Got
now
me.
he's changing his name again.
Sure am.
So, Neil, did you guys celebrate up in the Great White North, now that, Biden's officially in office?
Yeah, we threw back a couple. We said, finally, we're going to get some, some normal fucking news out of the U.S. now. But, it's we kind of got used to the whole shit show that was your newscasting. But when Trump was in office, I mean, we're kind of, I'm sure Biden's not perfect. Of course, none of us are. But
No.
But let's just put it this way. In my personal opinion, he's stories better than Trump.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah,
Like,
and
if it
it's
was a building, Trump would be on like the basement, and Biden would be like halfway up the tall building. He's
Sure.
at least that much better.
like I'm fairly certain that Canada, as our neighbor that lives upstairs, is very happy that the meth lab that was underneath them, just like all those tenants, just got evicted. He's like, finally, hopefully we can get like a nice family in here, somebody, because just the cat piss fumes and
Cat piss fumes. Yeah, like you guys are like a big litter box.
just manufacturing toxicity down here for 4 years. My apologies for the smell. And
Yeah, indeed.
And Andy, you're 100% right. Like Biden is far from perfect. Like I would never like if this was like any normal election, I'm like, fuck out of here, Biden. You suck.
Right.
But if it stops the bleeding for 4 years, we'll take the bleeding stoppages, please.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mr. Primus. Is that at least it at least slows the bleed a bit. It allows us to get to the lifeboats, if nothing else.
He's already made he's got a trans person in charge of the health sector now, right?
Yeah.
Which is already fucking miles ahead of anything Trump would have ever done.
Yeah. Trump was nothing but I don't know what's the most horrible kind of disease you could have. It could be like Trump was a flesh-eating virus on your genitals. That's what he was.
Yeah.
Like if it was like,
oh man, I'm uncomfortable now.
He's the COVID-19 of the American history books.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a circus down there for 4 years, guys, and it's going to get a little better for you.
I think we have the largest obstruction out of the way, so we are more or less more in control of our destiny at this point. Like we can actually do something about how shitty our, like now we're back to our country being normal shitty. Okay, let's go back to fixing that as opposed to fucking having fencing battles every fucking day on Twitter with the fucking president. Like, come on, man. Like we have so much other shit that we're not doing right now because we're too busy dealing with your jerk off ass. Like enough being the center of a fucking tension at all times.
Speaking of jerk off, I heard he was on Pornhub too.
And I thought that was a move too far. I'm like, I know he's a dictator in training, but Let the man have a wank, won't you? Come on. That's only going to make him worse. That's
I mean,
like
we all know
banning.
his wife appears to dislike him these days. So
That's like banning incels from Pornhub. It's like they're only going to get worse if you do that.
yeah.
Well, you know that relationship, the Trump and Mrs. Trump relationship, that was a relationship of convenience. You can't imagine Donald having any real feelings for anyone except for Donald.
Or his daughter.
Oh yeah, true that.
Which was very creepy and like, dude, who says that? If she weren't my daughter, perhaps we'd be dating. I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Oh fuck. Yeah, I remember that. What a fucking creep.
Like there's been so much weird Trump shit that we've forgotten most of it.
Mm.
Like we don't even remember half of it.
It's important to remember because when one of his people runs for president again in 4 years, it's important to maybe have a log of all the crazy stuff that happened during the past 4 years.
Do you think, which of his people do you think is going to run for president?
Jeez, I don't know, man. There's going to be someone out there who's going to try to do the Trump route, who's going to try to go hardcore into the base and just do a firestorm and just try to run it in. Forget about the popular vote. Just go for the Electoral College, which is the only way Republicans can win these days. So there's going to be someone out there willing to go. Don Jr., maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. I think people will laugh if he does. But anyway, I do know that there's still some clowns out there that think that Trump's going to win the election. Like, what?
It's like all those people.
Oh yeah, you wait. In March, they're going to inaugurate the new president. It's like, what? Are you fucking high? Like, whatever you're smoking, I want some because mine doesn't compare to this.
Yeah. Simply Secular in the chat says, "Hey USA, you okay? Haven't heard anyone screaming down there for a week." You need help? Visit.
What are we? Oh, Dave, what is it? We're supposed. Dave's Secular's name, but what do we? Something Canadians. What do they call it? Comfort Canadians? Is that the word or something like that? It's something like that. I don't think it's comfort, but it's something along those lines. Once Dave hears this, he'll probably he knows everything. So
you guys are our security blanket.
Security is that? Yeah, something like that. It's along those lines.
Primus, if you can divulge your location, where are you here in the States?
I live in Chicagoland.
Oh, Chicagoland. All right.
Yeah, I'm not in the city because I'm not a millionaire.
Canadians, that's it.
Support. Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. I don't make enough money to live in the city, so I'm out in the burbs, the burbage.
Well, so it's no surprise by my accent. I'm a masshole. And, and I remember the first time that I went to Chicago, and I'm like, wow, there really is civilization out here. I always thought it was a myth.
And that's the thing. Chicago has this reputation. It's a war zone. Around here, we call it Chirac. No, it's mostly fine.
Yeah. Isn't that Detroit? not Chicago.
But Detroit is like mostly fine. I mean, there's flare-ups, but there's gang violence, and I mean that's a whole nother fucking can of worms when it comes to like how inner city police forces deal with gang violence, and they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea how to deal with gangs. They have no idea how to deal with people. Shut it. 30 seconds. So instead of reaching out like they did in the past, reaching out to gang leaders and saying, all right, there's a lot of bullshit going on. I need you and you guys need to make a truce. This shit needs to be calmed down. You got to relax. Mm-hmm. So instead, police commissioner now says, let's just lock all of them up. Okay. So they would lock them up whether they did anything or not. And now the 20-year-olds are in charge, and 20-year-olds are 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's why we've had so much bloodshed over the last fucking 6-7 years. It's because there's no one's in charge of the gangs now except for a bunch of young shitheads who don't know their ass from a dirty hole in the ground. And they're just making a fucking mess of things.
Having law enforcement treat the community as if it was the U.S. going into Vietnam, for an example. Just throwing that out there. Probably not a good idea. Probably not effective.
Nobody wins.
Nobody wins, yeah.
Yeah, they've really stepped in it, and they just double down because they can't admit that they were wrong about anything. So,
oh, it's the sunk cost fallacy. Look, we've been throwing all this money into a pit for so long. We have to keep on throwing it because then it's going to get better. We just have to throw enough money into the pit, and then magic will occur.
I'm going to go and buy a shovel and dig a pit in the back so you can chuck the money in there.
You know, that's an interesting analysis of capitalism. You know, I just got to dig a pit that people want to throw money into.
and they've upped their game recently. Like as of last week, they're trying to push through new legislation so that the police department in Chicago can buy up vacant houses and use them as like tactical forward operating bases.
No, they're like fire bases in Vietnam. I'm going to go with this Vietnam analogy again. That's what the U.S. Military did. They just put fire bases in the middle of what they considered what was enemy territory and just worked out of there. You know, that's not the proper way for police to interact with people that they're supposed to be protecting.
They're supposed to be preserving the rights of these people. But let me get a forward operating base so I can preserve your rights expeditiously.
Yeah. You know, it's like this conversation we could have had 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And it's the same conversation about how to police properly. And there is a way to do it. And acting like you're an occupying force is not the way.
That's right.
As soon as you start drawing lines in the sand and making people choose sides, as opposed to, hey, are you having issues? Can I help you? Can I help you solve something? What happened? Tell me what happened so I can help. Like that's like the mindset is just completely off. And now they're like, that federal money, if I say that all this is happening, is that sweet, sweet lucre. You know, it's the worst over here. It's a goddamn war zone. What am I supposed to do? Yeah. So now they got more money, and now they got more toys to play with, and now they're getting forward operating bases, and it's like, oh,
forward operating bases, indeed. You're right, and the system does incentivize that kind of behavior.
Mm-hmm. And I was in St. Louis during Ferguson. I'm from St. Louis, and I was there when the Michael Brown shooting happened. Out of nowhere, these motherfuckers had MRAPs. And MRAPs, for the uninitiated, it's those big fucking, almost like a dump truck, like a construction dump truck size thing, but it's like completely armored, and it's got like the little handholds. You can, and all your tactical gear, and then grab on the side, and it goes on. I'm talking about in a matter of like 7 days, they had these. Oh, you already bought them last summer, and you were waiting for an excuse to use them. Oh. Now I understand.
You know, it's an interesting question. Simply Secular asks, how do you police sites that are overrun with armed mobs like the Capitol? I imagine you're referring to the Capitol building. Well, you know, call me crazy, but I would say if you create an environment where that kind of insanity is not likely to happen, I would say that would be a step in the right direction. And a lot of my arguments basically boil down to being more like Canada. That's what this boils down to.
What you think? I want to show you something.
Show me.
Can I share a screen? Because this is what a Canadian police chase looks like.
All right.
Just FYI. Let's see here.
A couple of dog sleds with a moose in the middle.
Yeah, here.
Here we go.
Just here you go.
Dude. That's magic.
Your Canadian police chase, is FYI. Yeah.
That is magic.
It's actually a Midas commercial, but
okay.
Still kind of funny.
Well, that does speak to a certain truth, doesn't it?
It does.
In Texas, I think it is. The police are going to start getting Teslas. And I was and my cousin lives in Austin, and she said she posted on Facebook. I'm like, yo, don't run from them cops. Those Teslas are fucking fast as shit. You'll never get away. No one run. Those Teslas go to 0 to 60 in like
just keep going until the Teslas run out of electricity.
4.5. Well, but it's a mile and a half in front of you. It's so fast. Yeah. Those things.
It jumps up immediately. From what I hear, the acceleration rate is pretty crazy.
Instant torque. Instant torque.
Really?
Yeah, there's no warming up with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just like cooks. At least I've never driven one. That's what I've heard.
Wow.
They're coming out with new ones that are promised to be under $30,000.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yep. And I'm like, okay, I'm nerdy.
30,000 US, correct?
Yeah.
So that's like $975 billion in cash.
But like I was like running them because like me and my fiance were hoping to start a family here soon, so we're gonna need like reliable, newer family vehicles. I mean, we have a Ford Focus, and I have like a Mitsubishi SUV, so it's not, we don't have bad cars, but we're making some money. Let's get a new vehicle that's safe to transport the little bundle of joy in. And I want a Tesla, so I'm like, all right, so the Tesla's 30 grand. All right, it gets around 200, 300 miles per charge, which is about what we drive for work already. Yeah. We spent about 200, 250 in gasoline. Guess how much it costs to fill up a completely empty battery system on a Tesla? From I need a numerical guess from both of you. It will piss you off.
To fuel up a Tesla with a battery
for 300 miles.
For 300 miles, I would say it's less than a handful of dollars. That's what I'm guessing.
How about you, Neil?
What are we talking about?
How much do you think it costs to fill up a Tesla?
Oh, you mean to charge it?
Yeah.
Not a lot, man. I can't imagine. Whatever, because it's connected to your electrical, right?
Yeah, so you got to get it
for electricity. Might cost you a few bucks to fill it up.
$7.
There you go.
Seven. That's nice. That's nice.
That's $7 American though, right? So again, that's
$1 billion,
$90 Canadian.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, $7 to fill up my fucking car. I can just plug it in at night.
I have heard, putting on my skeptic hat on, this isn't just fart jokes over here at this end. There's some skepticism here. I've heard that, and this is an old article I looked at because I was thinking about buying an electrical car too at one time, and that they compared the Tesla to, let's say, a Corolla, which is relatively fuel efficient car, smaller car, and they said basically the Corolla, all things being said, it's still a better buy, and that the Tesla is still the moral thing to do. It is still, but not the economical thing to do. Now maybe the data's changed. This is a relatively old article from a couple of years ago.
Teslas used to be like 60.
Yeah, this is true. You're right.
That's what they're coming out with, a version that's essentially half the cost.
Good, because it was probably all that money was to pay for all the previous R&D and stuff and designing vehicles, right? And science isn't cheap.
Sickly Secular says they have free charging stations at the mall.
So you can plug it. Top Gear did point this out because they had back when they were on BBC, they had a couple episodes talking about electric cars. He's like, but I'm just still a 14-year-old at heart, and I would just walk over and boop, unplug it. And then I just walk away because that's what all the little ignorant fucking teenage punks are going to do, is they're going to go to the mall with their little fucking longboards or their fucking hoverboards, and they're going to fucking unplug everyone's Tesla and fucking and then scoot away. But I'd take the risk.
I just want to welcome Edward Chiriak, who's been on my show. He's in the chat. But Edward, I'm sorry, we're not going to dink your wine glass.
I'll do it. I'm not afraid.
I think he meant clink, but he put dink in there. It's like, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure this video might get banned if we decided to do that.
Is that what they call it in Canada? A dink?
No.
No.
When I was 7, I called it a dink, but not anymore.
Neil, you could do a whole show called Ask the Canadian,
Yeah.
You could do a whole show about just Ask the Canadian. Who knows how often you could do it, but and you could just make up your own questions, to tell you the truth.
Every day. Every day I have something to ask Canadians.
Yeah.
However, when I lived in Israel, I lived there on a kafar, which is like a kibbutz. And
so what's the difference between a kafar and a kibbutz?
What's a kibbutz?
A kibbutz is a commune where people, it's like usually they're farming and animals and stuff. A kafar, where I live, a kafar means village. Okay. And the place I lived at was called Kfar Hayarok, which means the green village. So they had all kinds of farming there. They did peanuts to pecans to avocados to oranges to mangoes to kiwi to you name it. They had it all there. And I worked pretty much everywhere. I even worked with bees for a while. Well, for a day. And I was like, fuck this. I'm not getting stung again. But they have cows, they have chickens, they have everything. And it's like a kafar in the sense that all the money that's raised for all the farming that we do goes back into the community, and we can buy the food for everybody, and everyone gets their laundry, and everyone gets clothing and dorms and stuff like that. So when I lived there, though, I got asked a lot of silly questions from the American folks that were there with us, because it was a mix. It was Canadians and Americans, and I was asked if I lived in an igloo, which I don't, of course. Yeah, they asked me if I had a pet penguin, and I'm like, dude,
Wrong
penguins
answer.
are South America and Madagascar.
So much to unpack with that question. So much to unpack.
I know. I laughed and said, "Yeah, I have a 2-story igloo with a 2 dog sled garage as well."
Had to pay extra for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
You have to be careful closing the windows too, so they don't shatter. So glass cold. Never mind. It's a chemical thing.
I got you.
Anyway.
So this is interesting. Simply Secular says a fuel cable on some of them, electrical cars, only unlocks when the vehicle is charged. That's interesting. So I guess having the charging stations in underground parking provides some security from those rapscallions.
We have charging stations underground here too.
Because if I was like 14, I'd do it too.
I
would I'd totally fucking longboard past him, bro. Like this dude's Tesla, bro. Like, boop, boop, and I would just unplug him.
Well, I have to tell you, I was a big wussy when I was 14 and a true believer in the little baby Jesus. And so I probably would have been telling you you'd be going to hell.
Hell yeah. But I was listening to punk rock back then, man. Oh man, Mike Vallely and the Rats. Oh, I was listening to fucking all kinds of Anthrax, fucking MXPX. Oh, we did all kinds of stupid shit in the name of.
Are you a second generation atheist, sir?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Oh no. No, my mom is still an avid believer.
No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And she keeps every time I say every time the sentence comes up, well, you know, Mom, I'm an atheist. No, you're not. Don't say that. All right. All right, lady.
What denomination is she, if you don't mind me asking?
Baptist.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat.
Brought up Baptist. Union Baptist, not those treasonous Southerners either, mind you.
No,
Union
not those.
Baptist. Does that mean you couldn't get fired without going through a whole bunch of...
Well, I'm glad that you asked. There's a process, Neil. There's a process about being the Union Baptist. Yeah.
Fucking mandatory 30-minute breaks. Mandatory. Nah, I'm dropping this Bible unless I get my break.
Yeah, Anthrax isn't punk. Who said Anthrax is punk?
I was just saying the stuff I used to listen to back then.
Okay.
Anthrax is great, but they're more metal.
I
Right?
am the law. Yeah.
I saw a double show back in the day with Iron Maiden and Anthrax. Anthrax was two very specific crowds. There were some people who were there for Anthrax and didn't know anything about Iron Maiden, and there were people there for Iron Maiden who didn't know anything about Anthrax.
Yeah,
It was a bonding experience, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
The Iron Maiden show, my favorite, I've seen twice, and my favorite one was, I think it was the Peace of Mind tour, when they came here and they were with Saxon, who I was in love with at the time, one of the most underrated drummers in the world, Nigel Glockner, was Saxon and Fastway, which I played on the after show in one of my shows recently in the after party. And of course, I got demonetized. I knew it was going to happen.
Oh, hey, yeah, that happens. I saw around Saxon one time with an opening group called the Angles.
Yes, I remember.
I'm sorry, that was a crappy joke. That was unintentional. That was completely planned out. The Anglo-Saxon, yeah, that was
Anglo.
Except, okay, maybe they were from around here or something, but there was a group called the Anglos.
I could see that, but they would be great with the Anglo-Saxons, Neil. That's what I'm saying. I don't even know if they would thematically, musically work, but
didn't matter. That billboard poster for that show would just be Anglo-Saxon coming to your city. And then, how do you not get a ticket? How do you not?
How?
Yeah. Answer us, chat. Answer us.
So my second beer here, my girlfriend gave me a few beers that were just hanging around are cooler. And so this is a Battle Axe IPA.
That's
Nice.
a good fucking name.
That's got, I have to tell you, being an old guy, that I am skeptical of having really nice images on cans and stuff, coming up from a time that, you just had a bottle or a can, maybe there's some words on it, maybe not. And now you have all of these embellished cans, so that's a personal bias that I have to get over.
It's because the technology got better, Andy. It's nothing to do with the beer.
No, I know. Well, that's the explanation for a lot of things, isn't it?
True.
It would almost take more work in some cases to make it simplistic. Like to just have the typical Corona thing. When you have a press right here, it's like, I can just print it out and just stick it. Machine can do it for me. Like,
Right.
So technology has afforded some avenues for creativity, it would seem.
I'm waiting for beer printers. That way you can just type in, I want a dark ale about 17%, and then just prints up a beer.
You're talking some Star stuff right there, Neil. That's what you're talking.
They have a Keurig that does drinks.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but they're usually it's not beer though. It's usually like rum or vodka or something like that. You preload it with whatever alcohol you want to use, and you put the cup in, which has all the ingredients other than the alcohol, and then it makes a drink.
I don't know about that. Then, if I have to do all the fucking work, then why don't I just make that damn drink?
Oh, here's your work. Pour.
I'm just saying.
I'm fucking beat now.
Well, like, I mean, as opposed to me just doing pour. Like, why am I gonna buy this fucking machine if it's? I thought it was just gonna be like you said, like maybe I could like take like a handle of rum, flip it upside down in the back, and then it would just like do my drink for me.
Yeah, well, basically the same thing.
I don't know how much is. Let me see. I'm on the research train now.
All right. So Edward, Chirac,
Alcohol.
What makes you an old guy, Andy? I had a black and white TV in my room. That's one of the things. That's one of the things.
He likes to watch old episodes of Perry Mason on it.
That's right. Old Ironsides.
Starsky and Hutch.
It is so much that I appreciate having teenage children so that I can now stay up with the references. I find that to be a good thing.
It's fucking $350.
Wow.
Oh, that's a hard pass.
They see it coming, or
$350. I'll pour it myself for $350.
I'm not going to pay you $3.50 to pour a drink.
No,
and that's $3.50.
Yeah, like
$3.50. Loch Ness Monster owed me $3.50.
I'm not. I mean, it looks very nice. It would be very impressive on your countertop if that's your thing. But
I have a countertop. I don't have any countertops.
No, I'm
I
not.
feel that you can tell how old a person is by what season of South Park they quote from.
Well, that's one way.
Because I know the episode you're talking about, and it's like, yeah. I haven't seen South Park recently, but I do remember that one specifically. Yeah,
I had like the first 4 seasons or something on VHS, so that's how old I am.
Oh, sweet.
I've seen maybe 2 episodes of South Park all the way through.
Oh man, my 2 favorite episodes are, of course, the Terrence and Phillip dedicated episodes.
Oh yeah, of course, Canadians, right?
Right, and the Royal Pudding episode.
Oh, the Royal.
The Prince and Princess of Canada or whatever, and Prince or Princess, they get married. And the mushroom people from Nova Scotia.
I dimly remember that.
And it's Sir Corey Hart and Sir Brian Adams.
Sir Corey Hart. Nice.
And of course, Corey Hart's got sunglasses on.
Oh, what's that you say, Neil? You want a Gentleman Jack Manhattan? Well, that pod, the single pod, is going to cost you $18.99 American dollars.
American dollars, so 470 Canadian dollars. Wow.
Exactly.
This is.
People in the chat are going to be like, "Wow, Canadian money really that shitty?"
Oh no, that's for 4 of them. I apologize.
Well, I plan to retire somewhere where the American dollar actually means something. So maybe once again, Neil, don't. I may crash on your. For like 20 years, man.
20 years. I don't know if I've got another 20 years in me, but yeah, you ever you ever need a place up here, I can hook you up, no problem.
Very
And
nice.
it's a lot of fun up here. We have Whistler Village up here, which is the place to go. Yeah, it's our ski resort. And in the summertime, you head down into Whistler Village, and they got all the different restaurants with patios and ice cold beer. And you sit around
that sounds like magic. That sounds like
and they have the hacky sack tournaments where they put up a volleyball net and the guys kick the hacky sack over across. These guys are fucking amazing. Like I watched them play, and I'm like, wow, I really suck at this game.
So, because you brought up hacky sack and volleyball nets, did you know there's a sport called Seapak Tokra, where it's literally like volleyball tennis, but I think it's 2-on-2. It's like doubles tennis, but you have to kick a ball. Like they serve it by kicking. Like they play the whole game with their feet. It is the most
Deepak Chopra, but what's it called?
Seapak Tokra. Let me see if I can find a little clip. Let me find a little Seapak clip.
I should have a whole episode on my channel about someone explaining Australian rules football to me, because this sounds like something like that.
It doesn't make sense.
I've had some exposure to it, but I still don't understand what it's all about.
Robert X. I'm not your friend, buddy.
All right, there it is. Found it. Seapak Takra.
Okay.
Contrary
Contrary to popular beliefs, our wheels up here on our vehicles are not square.
Hit that button for me, Andy.
Stargate Tokra.
No, I'm sorry, sir. I'm just like drinking. There we go.
Like it's not quite as high as like a volleyball net, but yeah,
Oh, wow.
they fucking
It's all done by foot.
It's all done by foot.
Wow.
It is one of the look at him serve. Oh, it's 3-on-3. It's insane. And these dudes are upside down bicycle kicking all fucking day, and then they land on their feet. They're ready for the next point.
What's the name of the Brazilian martial art form that they're always doing cartwheels and crap?
Capoeira.
Okay, see, so it looks like there'd be a crossover on the Venn diagram between having skills in that and that sport, whatever the crap that was. My mind is still reeling.
Video of them serving is the most insane thing you ever see, and it's a wicker ball.
A wicker ball.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that would make it crazier is if they put that wicker ball on fire, I think.
That'd be awesome.
There's a close up of the ball here.
It'd be a fast game though, because that shit would burn up like that.
Oh wow,
Neat.
dude! I've never even heard of this sport before.
Me either.
It's one of those things where YouTube takes you into strange and new places, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?
So what you're saying is that I click on this YouTube link, and within 2 or 3 clicks, I get to like snuff porn or something like that.
I don't know, man. It depends on your role of the D20, my friend.
Okay, since you said D20, are you a Dungeons and Dragons veteran, or are you some other kind of role-playing kind of gamesmith?
I have a new show coming out probably in a month or so, where it's a live D&D campaign.
And you know what you just witnessed here, ladies and gentlemen, small furry animals, is that there's this kind of autistic like center that resonated in me. It's like, D20? Did someone talk about my cult? Did someone mention the cult?
One of us.
One of us. Oh my God. One of us, indeed.
I just got from the local tobacco shop. He gave me an excellent fucking cigar box that I'm going to use as my dice tray. But yeah.
Nice.
Bought new dices and everything. That I just dropped on the floor.
No, I think Neil was a relatively well-adjusted youth that never had to do Dungeons and Dragons or Traveler or Marvel superheroes when you were in the before time, in the yesteryear.
The before time. I played D&D quite a bit. I also played a version of D&D called GURPS, which means Generic Universal Role-Playing System.
Oh, don't even effing talk to me about Steven Jackson games, my friend, because I can talk about Steven Jackson games. Boot Hill.
I did them.
Right?
I played Magic the Gathering when it first came out. I stopped pretty much around when the time Planeswalkers hit the market. And I didn't play any games for a long time. Then I got into, thanks to my ex-wife's kids, I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! So, and I still play that actually from time to time. Not as much as I used to because I can't go to the locals and play over there anymore. So basically, I play online with people from time to time, or I just use my the online Yu-Gi-Oh stuff.
The online game, yeah.
Like Duel Links or Dueling Book. So yeah, I played D&D quite a bit.
Yeah, he's got way more experience than me. This is my first time ever playing, but I've listened to like different D&D podcasts or Pathfinder. I like Pathfinder. Wish we were playing Pathfinder, but D&D will do for my intro.
I would always be stuck being the DM, right? Because there are some people who are just like, all right,
Stuck being the DM,
stuck being the god, the one
it's always fun to be a
who
DM.
everything.
Unfortunately, I have all the power in this session.
Yep.
That.
Oh, hey, simply speculating here.
I was gonna say,
Bill into role playing, he rolls one,
smokes it,
and then plays games. Right? I don't even know how YouTube like censors crap. And
followed by Dave's maniacal laugh.
And Dave also brought up I think it's pronounced High Ally, which is like with the little Scoopy Cup game. It's like the world's best.
Isn't that hurling?
No, that's curling.
Oh, that's what you do when you've had too much to drink, right?
Correct.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
I think
let's play hurling.
But you can curl as you curl. It would just be very messy. And you have a broom there, though, right there.
Right there to clean it up because it's going to freeze. It's going to freeze. It'll flash freeze, and you can, and now it's like this little paste. You can scoop it up, and you're out of there. It's like the little sawdust they put at like Home Depot when a kid throws up.
Oh yeah, well yeah, toxic spills of any kind. You get your kit, you get the sawdust, you get and then you just sweep it all up, and it all goes away. Just like Jesus. Jesus is that kit for sin. That's what he is. It's like what you have some sin, break out some Jesus. You just throw the dust on. You just throw the sawdust on the ground, sweep it up, and it all goes away like magic.
You have to sprinkle the Jesus in a circle around where the spill or sin is, and then you brush towards the center, and it's going to absorb as it goes. And then there you go. But it will leave your floor slippery as fuck for the next fucking 18 years because having worked in retail all the time and using, I think the brand we had was like Spill Magic. Like I have eaten more shit fucking falling down from fucking clean floors that were clean with Spill Magic than ever on like some oil or fucking anything else. It's just the slipperiest thing.
Anything with the word magic in it, I'd be skeptical about, to tell you the truth.
Holy shit.
Hurling
looks dangerous.
What?
And hurling looks dangerous. And hurling is actually, it's an ancient Gaelic game. Created in Ireland.
Is it the caber toss?
Prehistoric time. Huh? No, hurling. It looks like they're little bats or something that they use, and they just smack a ball around.
Yeah. My brother, my old father-in-law, he was from the Highlands, and he did some kind of crazy game which he could have gotten killed at. And that sounds there's a bat, there's a really hard ball involved, and
Hurley.
You kind of toss it and you smack it, and another guy smacks it and try to score. And they say it's similar to lacrosse. It's about the same pace and same hand-eye coordination, but they don't have nets on the mallets. They have what looks like exaggerated golf club heads that are flat, and they just whack.
Well, if you have nets, those are for the uppity people. Those are for the people who can handle the hard weaponry of a club.
Oh, you just can afford nets for all of your bats? All right, whatever. You fucking bourgeoisie motherfucker. You just nets on everything. Why don't you put a net at the fucking goalpost while we're at it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some videos on it, and it looks hardcore.
Yeah.
But that high lie thing, that's like that's a Spanish, I think, that it's like a giant racquetball court. And they got the little scoopy thing, and they fucking launch it. I think, what is it? The ball gets to like 150 or some shit.
Dude, it is crazy. And it's a small, hard ball, too. It will mess you up.
Yeah. Do they have like the little tennis ball boys and girls that like whenever they fault and then like and they just run across?
The sacrificial lambs who will run out there. Well, if we lose a couple of them, it doesn't really matter, really.
You are correct, Mikey. It was invented in Spain.
There we go.
In the Basque area by some guy. Hang on here.
Mr. Eli.
No.
I'm going to say something controversial right now. The Basques are, the Basque people are nothing but problems. You can ask the Spanish. See, that's not right.
No.
Right.
One of my favorite movies takes place in World War II Spain.
Pre-World War II Spain, during the Spanish Civil War, or during World War II proper?
I think World War II. It was leading into World War II.
Okay, so it was during Franco and the Spanish Civil War, which was a batch effery of effery. See, that's for the censors out there.
They don't know who invented it.
Oh, they know. They just don't want to give them credit.
They know where it originated. It's changed over the years. The Pyrenees Mountains, north central Spain.
Yeah.
But they can't attribute it to anyone in particular to inventing it. So there you go.
I'm intrigued by this movie, though, Mr. Primus.
I'm leaving breadcrumbs. I feel like you've seen it because you're cool. Hey, you're a cool dude. You've probably seen this.
The thing is about geekdom, it's a lot like autism. And I'll tell you what I think about this, is that you have a very narrow focus intent on like a particular topic or two. And you talk about the Basque region. It's like, all right, I think I have, and being a person at the outer rim of comedy that I am, I think I can make a crappy joke about it.
Let me just throw down a breadcrumb. Maybe you might get it on this. It has to do with a little girl and a maze.
Little girl. See, when you say little girl in a maze, I think of Pan's Labyrinth off the top of my head.
Bing, 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 bing.
How old was Andy? I saw it in the theater when it came out. Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, that was magic. That was great.
Guillermo lost so much money on that movie. I felt so bad.
Well, the nature of art, right? So if you're able to, if you're a director and you make a couple of high budget movies, and make your money, and then you do your passion project. Yeah. And that's how these wonderful little movies don't kill you, basically. Because if you start off with something like Pan's Labyrinth that you really don't make a lot of money from, then that can easily kill your career right there. Yeah.
Oh, FYI, Mikey, I picked up a game buzzer for when we do those types of things on the show.
What? Oh, I like that. Very hockey.
What's Neil? Oh, it's not working.
Or this one here. This one has ads. Stupid.
Oh, boo.
Boo.
Kidditch. I am actually reading the first Harry Potter book right now. I've never read it. I saw the movie. I'm reading it right now. And I like it.
I'm a baby. So when those came out, those were like, oh, a fantasy book. Don't mind if I do. So I think I read like the first 4, and then I was like, ooh. I was like, ooh, girls in trouble. I prefer these things to books. And I never looked back. Sorry, Harry. Didn't finish figuring out what happened to you. You had like another 4 books, 7 books, 8 books, 6 books. Does anyone even?
I never read the books. I saw the movies.
I saw, having children, I saw when they were into something, I was, dragged to see the movies. And so I saw a couple of the movies. And then the last 4 maybe just disappeared from me. I have no idea how the series ends.
I don't know, and I've never wanted.
Everybody dies.
And having read like the first 4 books, and then I watched like the first 3 movies, I was like, that's pretty close. That's not too bad, because I think after the first one, she kind of figured that there would be movies at some point. So they were kind of written as like a screenplay. So it was very easy for the directors to come in after the fact and then make the thing that she wrote. I was like, oh, not bad.
And you know, you point to a truth in the fact that a lot of novelists now write their material so that it's easily translatable into a screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where the money is. That's where the money is.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I blame Neil personally.
Yeah,
I think it's directly due to him and his actions and inactions.
You know, just as a callback, I blame Canada.
Blame Canada with their hockey hullabaloo and that bitch Anne Marie too.
I do. Do you guys have any recent books that are recent favorite?
Canada? I have a book of Canadian jokes, if that helps.
No, see, that'd be racist if I did that. So I would never. I would never.
Racist.
Hey, man, those are your people and your jokes. Like, y'all can tell them. I can laugh at them, but I would never say
Canadian isn't a race. What?
No, when I'm singing the Canadian songs, I just kind of self-mute myself because I don't want to say y'all's word, you know. Like
Y'all's word. What's our word?
You know,
lacrosse.
He almost got me.
He
tried to get me to say it just that quick. Nice try.
Yep.
Nice try, Neil.
Pretty sneaky when I want to be.
Almost worked.
You know, I have to tell you something about Canada. I still don't really understand what's going on with the Northwest Territories, and I know we've talked about this before, Neil. It's still there, but they're the official Native Peoples territory at this point.
Let's face it. All of North America is officially First Nations peoples because they were the first to come here and settle.
Hey, that's blasphemy against the United States of America. I just want to let you know that straight out.
Sure it is. But anywho, the none of it is the home of the Inuit people, which is they're one of the northern tribes up there. So yeah, it's the Inuit people. And that's pretty much all the Northwest Territories, you know, area anyways. So
I always have to pull up a map whenever he starts talking about different territories in Canada because I don't know what Canada looks like. Like I
don't teach you guys anything. We get American history. You guys don't get Canadian history.
We barely get any education at all.
Fair.
You guys definitely did not make the cut of stuff I had to learn. But they wanted me to do all never mind. I won't even talk about all the stupid shit I had to learn. That it was so useless to me.
I am intrigued by this. Is that this category of information you had learned that wasn't that important?
I mean, I would much rather kids be taught how to balance a checkbook, how to file their taxes, how to register to vote. Like, there's a lot of life skills that should be taught to children or kids that age, but it's not. But instead, we got them. Oh, I'm going to give you an F if you don't remember all the Shakespearean prose. It's like, dude, Shakespeare is cool, but let's not replace something valuable with something that is kind of niche and fun. Like I like Shakespeare. I have like 4 or 5 different like little collection books of Shakespeare pieces, but we still need to teach them how to be grown-ups.
Well, it is a part of the system of the American capital. Neil, tell me if I'm wrong. You've been with me for like all of these drunken excursions.
Oh,
and about an hour in, am I drunk enough to start talking about things? Is this the point?
I think that depends on the things.
See, and I think it's a part of the system here in the States that they don't want you to think about the things that the system doesn't want you to think about. And I'm not putting on a tinfoil hat or anything like that.
I agree with you 100%.
So Alex the Great says, if you were to have a suspicious uncle, I fit the bill.
Oh, God.
I like you already, Alex.
Nice. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of critical thinking skills that you just don't get down here. And it's not difficult. If a fool like me can pick them up, I think they should be teaching kids in middle school. in junior high school easily to know what's what and how to dissect an argument or to learn the basic logical fallacies.
That's critical thinking, period.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing, because as much as we give kids shit because they can't, I work with a bunch of teenagers at work, and I'm like, hey, go to the back, grab the broom, bring the broom up to the front, sweep this up, put the broom back, and throw that stuff away. The fact that they have one question halfway through the process worries me a bit. But then I also have to remember that this kid will learn functional Spanish in fucking 12 months.
Yeah.
So their brains are incredible computing machines, but there's something there that they're missing a one little chunk. They're missing one little chunk there to get them into that self-realization that they can use their own knowledge and mental capacity to solve the problems that are around them, or to dismantle arguments, or to do it. But they don't have that. Like, this kid can do calculus, but he can't figure out how to open a ladder.
You ever tried to teach a 5-year-old how to tie his own shoes?
No.
That is an 11-step task analysis, my friend. As someone who has worked with people with disabilities, there's actually a step by step how you, and mind you, the way how I was brought up when I was a boy, my kids, a whole different system of how to tie your shoes with the double knots. And I'm like, double bunny ears? I had no idea double bunny ears were a thing.
You need my prop.
Tell me more.
Back in my day.
Here's just say, Neil. I
can't. You lucky little bastards. You got Velcro in your shoes instead of lace, little punks.
What?
No, yeah,
these are my good headphones.
What?
The ear horn.
What they used to be.
I need
back
an ear
in my
horn.
salad days. Is that the expression? Salad days?
I need an ear horn because I do have hearing damage in one ear. Just a fucking. I would love that.
What?
Is that from concerts? Is that a concert thing, or is that a ear thing?
Yeah, me and my band used to practice in a storage unit with
dude.
balls,
Yeah,
and that fucking China cymbal wrecked my fucking right ear.
A 9x6 fucking room. No wonder you can't hear anything.
No, we had the 12x15.
Move your arm, Mikey. I need to hit the cymbal.
He had the emperor of container units, sir.
And we actually got one that wasn't too far. We only had to buy a 50-foot extension cord to run all the amps.
Nice.
Yes, that's your.
Well, I don't want to shame you in terms of your tinnitus, Primus.
Not in the form of shoes, though.
But I was naturally born with tinnitus here, and so in both ears. Thank you very much.
So how long if there's a completely quiet room?
Rage.
Always. Just talking about it actually makes it louder.
How long do you think it would take you to fall asleep in a completely quiet room?
Oh, I've never been in a completely quiet room. I was actually talking with my girlfriend about this today, about how we live right by a parking lot, a small parking lot. And when they shovel, they seem to get paid by the shovel. They do a lot of shoveling here. And I think of this as a comforting thing. And she's like, no, this is horrible. This is horrible.
What are they shoveling?
They're shoveling just for the sake of shoveling.
Like cars? Let's
shovel.
There
was a little bit of snow here, but it didn't require shoveling every 20 minutes.
Okay.
And it's always here with me. It's always.
And I love my girl to pieces because she has to tolerate. I have to have like a podcast going, or I have to have something going at night because just that stillness and quiet, it drives me insane, and I cannot fall asleep.
My mind starts going.
And you know what? See, now I have to call you Mr. Mikey because you changed your name back on me again. And
815
Mr. 815 Atheist. What you just said it reveals a particular truth in the fact that you always have to follow the data, and the fact that someone tells you something, you have to, it's like, okay, well, that's real for you, and you need to hear it. You need to hear that thing to calm you down and get you to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, for
And
me, that would just drive me crazy. Sure.
so hearing anything like, so tinnitus is not the ringing in the ears, or is it like the
It is the ringing in the ears. There's different kinds of tinnitus, but it is the ringing in the ears. Yeah, and that's probably what you got from just practicing in a small storage container. For me, it was
smooth,
just
with smooth reflective walls.
oh yeah, dude. You know, I mean,
bad idea.
you need to have the egg cartons. You need to have the egg cartons on the wall.
I think we had a couple carpets or something like that, or like blankets that we had got those like industrial clips. So we'd clip a couple blankets on either one, but it didn't do much.
Get the Wish app, and they sell the little foam pieces with the egg carton looks to them. And you can get all the different colors, and you just fucking stick them up on the wall.
I was 22. We are all 11 years too late for all this.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, you can get. I bought a sound booth. This is where it's got a little foamy thing that goes around your microphone that I could do voice work with. I haven't even used it yet. It's just sitting over there, but I could set it up and use it to make. Yeah, they do work pretty good. I did a test run on it. But I haven't used it to make voice work or nothing. Well,
voice work. You know, Neil, you have a good voice for voice work. I have this high nasally northeastern. I know better than you kind of voice here that no one wants to listen to. Luckily, I have a face that no one wants to watch either. It's a double threat.
So then you make them choose.
Right.
And when they have to choose, either way you win. House always wins.
The face of late stage capitalism. That's what that is. Mikey knows what I'm talking about. I live like everything that's evil in the United States of America.
You're the root of all our problems.
All the problems.
You went so damn greedy. And I don't know if he's an atheist, Neil, so I didn't throw him your way yet. But I talked to a dude just the other day. His name's Andy too. Andy Nutter. He's a comedian.
Oh, okay.
But he's like super libertarian. And so they're like, we started getting into like, he was on the politics show, and I was just like, so what happens if this happens and we become total libertarians? Like, how does this work? And then I get a bunch of random thoughts that don't equate to reality. I'm like, okay, so what if this happens? And he had no answers for me on anything. I was just like, it just sounds like you have a dream. Like you just want something to be that way, but you have no idea of how to get there.
You know, I was a big L libertarian myself. I went to a national convention. I was part of the Big L Libertarian Party here in the States. That's before I knew better. And, Big L libertarians love to consider themselves to be following the data, right? They love to consider themselves to be people who like, I have red pilled myself and now I see the world as it is. See, yeah. But no, dude, if you look at the data, it's actually that you're full of crap. And it's actually whatever you're thinking about, whatever ideas are in your head, it's just an effect of your class here and probably your race in the States.
You ever seen any like dark-skinned poor libertarians?
Dude, never.
Yeah, me neither.
Never. How you see the play depends on how you sit, where you sit. Oh, by the way, back to my blue chip stock of Harpoon IPA right here.
Neil, you drink IPAs too all the time, right?
I like IPAs, yes.
I can't do the hops.
You can't do the hops?
It tastes bad.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't taste good to me. I don't.
There are definitely more hoppier versions of IPAs and less hoppier versions.
Oh, indeed. Agree.
Yeah. You guys ever? I have like 30,000 food allergies. There is beer that makes me sneeze.
I'm intrigued. What beers are they?
Actually, 2 seconds. I have some. I wish I could send it up to you, Neil. I'd let you have it. But if you ever stop by, it's in the fridge for you.
Ian Davenport speaks truth when he says, if you like, hit the like.
You meant like button.
There's some kind of...
Ian's a big supporter for that.
Rhythm for that. There's some kind of rhythm there. Isn't Swede a libertarian? No. They're socialists. That's what Sweden. Yeah, Sweden. I mean, the Swedish state, at least.
No, he meant Irish Swede.
Oh, okay.
And he's a syndicalist. But this is Fuzzy Smack Berliner Weiss with peach by Noon Whistle.
You had me there.
I like them. I want to drink.
And this is from Lombard, Illinois. So around my neck of the woods, not too far away. I bought a 4-pack of it. Tastes great because I love a good Weiss. Yeah. I fucking break into fucking sneezing fits. 2 sips. Maybe like 6 or 7 sips into the beer. Before I could even finish the first can, I was just sneezing my brains out. I'm intolerant to some kinds of yeast, and these guys must be on the list. And I'm just some beers make me sneeze. And it's the stupidest thing to be out at the bar trying a new beer, and you're just fucking sneezing all over yourself. It's so stupid. There's nothing you can do about it. It's too late. You already drank it. Your body's already processing it.
What's good, and let me be the ray of sunshine that I am, is that you don't go into anaphylactic shock. You don't start. It's like, hey, we're going to do an emergency tracheotomy on this guy right here.
Get a ballpoint pen and a box cutter.
Right. Well, I always carry them in the pub just in case. Right.
Got a Phillips head
You
screwdriver.
don't need no box cutter. I'll just stick it right in there. I know how to do it. I'm a level 2 first aid, so.
And it just goes through the back of my neck. It's like, that was very good, Neil, but you went
too hard, buddy.
A little too far. I tricked you. How do you feel? I can't feel my legs. Oh, okay. So that was too far. All right.
Fine. Damn it.
You know, there's somewhere at some time who decided to do an emergency tracheotomy somewhere in a bar and hit an artery as against to like where they should have gone. There has to be a story out there somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah.
We learn from our mistakes, and unfortunately, someone didn't survive that one. But you know,
Right.
Trial and error, as they say. Well, I mean, hey Neil, you could just go get an EpiPen. They're only $600.
Not in Canada. Shame us, Neil, with your insurance.
Oh, don't worry. The EpiPens here, if you don't have the proper, what's the word I'm looking for? Not insurance. But no, not insurance. Because you can get medical, and then you can also get extra insurance to cover,
right?
When you order pills with the prescription. So if you don't have the proper prescription coverage, the EpiPens here, I think, are close to $100. So
really,
$100 Canadian is like 95 cents in the US.
So let me just say this. So Neil, if I drove up and you ordered a bunch of EpiPens that I could resell here in the States for an exorbitant amount, this would actually work out for us.
See, even Dave, Simply Secular, EpiPens are about $100 here. And that's without prescription coverage. If you have prescription coverage, the way it works here in Canada is you still kind of have to buck up. And then you bring the receipt in and they reimburse you. So it's free.
And they reimburse you?
What is this reimbursement from the government? What the fuck? Is that a thing?
That's
your insurance company that does your coverage for prescriptions will reimburse you. So
yeah, and the EpiPen used to be about like $60 here in the States.
Well, I get 80% coverage. So all my prescriptions I pay around $20 for, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
They lifted all the rules to say that companies couldn't just inflate their prices to screw people over. And as soon as they knew that law was coming back in, homegirl who runs EpiPens, whoever makes that like brand or whatever, yeah, she jacked them way up, and they only last for a year because they expire.
Yeah.
So you have to buy a new one every year. So what is that? $50 a month?
Here's a little secret though. Expiration dates are there. You have to put them on there. Doesn't actually mean that the medicine inside is actually expired. It may not be as potent as it was when it was first made. Like vitamins, everything kind of decreases a little bit over time.
You know, Neil, as you say that, I don't want to be the person who out-socializes the Canadian here, but I'm like, there's enough money. There's enough money in the system to give everyone like a good EpiPen who needs an EpiPen in the system.
Yeah. So my plan is I have children's Benadryl in the cabinet. So if anything should happen, it will.
You get Benadryl through a trial, or sorry, if anything happens, hey
It's
kid, here's a Benadryl.
It's a liquid form, because little kids can't take pills. So I get the liquid form because it absorbs so much quicker. So if I'm having any kind of like crazy allergy symptom, and and if I start feeling like I'm having shortness of breath or anything like that, or restricted breathing, I will drink the entire bottle, tell my girl to throw me in the car and just drive me to the hospital.
That is so smart.
Because at the end of the day, I'll be drowsy as shit for the next day and a half. But
as a person who has minor PTSD, Mr. Mikey, I'm just gonna keep using different misters here.
There's a restaurant chain called Mr. Mike's.
Hey,
is there?
Yeah.
I have to tell you, there are moments that I'm like, I'm hitting the button. I'm hitting the red button here. And that means just send me to the good hospital in the area. And
I mean, because I have so many food allergies, like so many, and most of them are really, really mild. But if shellfish, for whatever reason, contaminate something that I eat, I know within like 3 minutes that this is not like, I'm like, this is not good. This is not good. And then I instantly start looking for, like, if I can whip my phone out, I'm like, I need a Walgreens, I need a CVS, I need or grocery store. I need something that's got this Benadryl in it, because that might be the only thing that keeps my airways open and keeps me alive until they can get me to the hospital. And if I don't, and if for whatever reason I don't have my EpiPen on me, it does me no good anyway. But I can always get to someone somewhere that's got a bottle of the good stuff for me.
Yeah, which is good. That's a good idea. Dave says he carries Benadryl in his first aid truck, which we also have at where I work. But an excellent point.
Go ahead, Neil. Sorry.
Dave made this real quick. You said there are best before dates, which doesn't mean bad after. Just
right.
Mr. Plague, and since you're Mr. Famine now, I'm going to call you Mr. Plague. Do you find people it's difficult to explain that, or people don't want to hear it?
That about allergies?
Yeah, about your personal, situation in terms of how your body responds to certain things.
A lot of people think you're faking it, because one of my other
I hate that. As
if I want to not eat shit. Like, I love food. Like, what are you talking about? But like even poultry. I get like the itchy inside the mouth and then scratchy throat. That's an allergic reaction. It's not to the point where my throat is closing, but I'm not going to sit there and pound a fucking 30-piece chicken nuggets with you and just be like, oh, my throat will just get scratchy. It does not have to be the same reaction every time. Like, if there's something that you're allergic to, you might become not immune, but it may not bother you anymore, or it could get worse, because it's all based on your hormones, and you really don't know what your hormones are going to do at that moment that you're eating it. So I just avoid certain things. And then everyone says, oh, you just don't like it because you want to be special and you want us to make special food for you.
Well, there are 2 points here. One, being a Yankee here from New England, which is, and no offense to anyone else here who's watching this from the States, New England is the best part of the country. We are the Norway and Sweden of this nation. That being said, explain to people, it's like, these are my limitations, and really, this is real. Trying to tell that's a hard lift.
Yeah, go ahead, Neil. Sorry.
Oh no, you were saying about hormones, right? And I was going to tell a really dumb old dad joke. But how do you make a hormone?
Oh, no.
Don't pay her yet.
Oh no.
Yeah. I told you it was bad.
Bad. And that's a weird dad joke too. I just want to say
that's it. Dad, I'm 8. I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure you weren't supposed to tell me that. I don't know who whore is, but you should probably pay her if she did something. I don't know.
She did something. She showed up. You're for that.
Pay her to leave.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Well, I mean, it's difficult, when you have to hide. I mean, for me, this has been my, and I'm going to sound like a wanker for a minute here. Not that I haven't sound like a wanker. It's
Yeah.
like you have to like disguise the disability in a lot of ways because of how I look, and it's like believe it or not, I have problems, and I have a hidden disability. And the way that I deal with it is from humor, is from a spot of humor, and it's like, you may not see it, but I might be. This is just the way how I have survived so far in the world, and it's difficult for people on the outside to recognize that.
I'll be right back.
Or like just for analogies here for a second. Like grass. Oh, it's awful. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. And like they thought I had asthma young, but I just had really bad allergies. Like my lungs, like I don't have like normal inflammation. It's just super bad. Like cut grass is the worst fuck. Like I know which days they cut the grass in every house that I've ever grown up in. Because
You're in herbs, brother. I mean, that's tough.
and I'm out in corn country too, and that ain't great.
You got to move into the city. I have to tell you, moving into the city makes me feel better.
I can't afford it. It's too much. It's too much.
It is difficult.
Sounds like I
people
gotta pay my more.
people who watch my channel know that I believe that the 30s it is the decade of the apocalypse. Basically, it is the hard lifting. This is my personal lived experience. I know that my 30s were the most difficult point where I had to do the math. I had to do the math of how do I raise children? How do I do the things I'm supposedly supposed to do? And unless you're like rich, as Mr. Burns would say, Nazi rich, it's a difficult circle to square.
I'm 33 now, and I feel not emboldened, but I feel a lot more. I think my 20s were like especially rough. So now that I'm in my 30s and I'm like doing things like my bills have been paid on time for like a year and a half. What is that? Like I don't even know what this feels like. All this feels weird. Like all this responsibility feels weird, but doable.
Hi, Otangelo.
What's up, Otangelo?
Antangelo. He's like a kinder, gentler theist. Hello, Antangelo.
Otangelo. There's no N.
I'm sorry.
Ontangelo is a different site.
Yeah.
Got him.
Spit take.
Oh, Andy, you weren't on the show when I introduced the points board.
Tell me about the points board.
I'll do better than I'll show you.
Oh, hello.
Tell you about it.
Hello.
Give me 35 seconds there.
Sure. I have to tell you, I've been watching the newly revamped Animaniacs with my kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Magic. Reliving those moments, man. And just as
do they still have all the other stuff too?
Well, there.
Like
I
Pinky and the
don't
Brain.
want to give it away because there are many people here who are watching who are like saying, the new Animaniacs may be worth watching, and I don't want to give anything away, but there's some magic in there. There's some callbacks to the old school Animaniacs that you do not see coming.
Oh, that's good.
Cool.
I'm going to go gray here for a moment. No need to worry.
What do we got here, Mr. Famine?
Well, nothing incredible. Nothing.
Well, you know, I want to say this, and I haven't directly talked to Mr. Tangelo. I'm a theist. I would be an atheist, but I love the space for God. You know, I would say that leaving a space for not knowing, it is scary. Leaving a space for not knowing, it's scary, but it pays off dividends in the long run.
Oh,
there you go.
Aha.
Why did I get 10?
Oh, I forgot to fucking. That's from last time. The spit takes are worth 10 points in the 604 bus game.
Yeah, that's when you make somebody almost spit their drink out.
It was all 10 then. Fucking.
I think we've all made Andy. I think I made Andy almost spit once, and you made Andy almost spit once. So.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to change the spit take to the wet hand.
You know, Neil, I have to. I mean,
like
I have to tell you, there's an art to being the host to the show.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, like, as I am the host, my job is to be as gracious. Gracious is that's not a word. As gracious and gracious. Thank you. And pay it forward as much as. I mean, you're here for a reason. You're here because I appreciate what you do, and I want to be like an amplifier to your channels and for what you do. Yeah, and also you're pretty freaking awesome, to tell you the truth. I'm just a guy doing fart jokes. In all reality,
I appreciate that. Yeah. Those are the jokes that would crack me and my dad up at the dinner table with company. And they all look at each other like, are these guys fucking serious?
Now, hold on. I didn't hear one fart joke this whole time. I feel ripped off.
Well, wait. You just wait, mister.
All right.
They don't always pop up. You know, they usually just pop up from time to time.
Sometimes they come when you least expect them.
Oh, Tangelo, we don't always talk about God. We haven't brought up God once in this entire conversation. It's when we are proposed to talk about God from theists that we talk about God. Sometimes we in our groups we do when we heard something we found to be ridiculous or something along those lines. But
I'm going to whisper the truth of all truths. It's almost as if it isn't relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's weird. It's weird when someone always when
it's necessary.
When someone always enters the room and they say, someone in here is doing X. And then it's like, yeah, it's weird. Every time I walk into a room, people start defending person with X. Well, you keep bringing it up. Like no one's even talking about that. Don't come marching band of trombones and loudness about your God and then ask us why we keep talking about your God. Like, yeah, you're doing it. We weren't doing that until you got here.
Right.
We all have our beliefs, and you're entitled to believe whatever you want, and no one can really tell you otherwise. I mean, we can encourage, things like critical thinking and stuff like that, but it's entirely up to you. You can believe whatever you want. But where I have a problem is where that belief starts to infringe on human rights and starts to become a pulpit for you to preach about it. That's where it's just not wanted. That's the only issues I really have. And when it hurts children. Catholic Church.
Looking right at you, Catholic Church.
I want to say this, and Neil, correct me. I think you've been here for all of the.
He raises a good point. Your channel is called Laughing in Disbelief.
It is, and that's because I am laughing, and there's a funny story behind that, but that's secondary to the primary. And let me tell you about the primary. Is that there is damage. There is damage to belief.
That's why we have organizations called Recovering from Religion, right?
There is an organization which, if this is the first time you've heard of this, you should Google it and just go to that community and check it out. And you know what? I think on my best day, to tell you the truth, I am funnier and happier without God, in a real way. I'm not peeing on people. I'm going to use those terms. on you know.
I got a funny story. Carry
The
on.
R. Kelly defense.
I'm not. Yeah. Hey.
In Chicago, I had to say it.
What are you gonna say, Dale?
Oh, well, when I was a kid, I went to a little Jew camp called Camp Miriam. I went there for a bunch of years. That's where I learned how to get it on with girls. Because they had a whole half of a cabin that was dedicated to all the leftover mattresses that weren't in use in the other cabins. So there were piles of mattresses, and that's where we used to go to get a little hubba going on back in the day when you're like 13 years old or whatever, and just break it into the whole sex thing. But anyway, I remember I think this was my second year at camp, and I was really sick and didn't go on the away mission, we'll call it. A little Star Trek there. But a lot of the groups used to go on overnights on the weekends. They go camping somewhere else, like by a lake or something. And I was too sick. So I stayed behind. Yeah, Crystal Lake, yeah. Camp Crystal Lake. This one was, I think, Logan Lake, but anyway.
Alkali Lake?
We stayed, I stayed behind, and I had to stay with the younger group because everyone was gone from our cabin, and they wouldn't let me sleep in our cabin alone, of course, because who knows what I'd do at 13. But anyway, I remember waking up in the middle of the night, and one of the kids they were bunk beds that they had in the cabins, and one of the kids was on the top bunk. He climbed down, walked around to the top of the bed, and started peeing all over the kid on the bottom bunk.
Lovely.
He was sleepwalking. I had no idea, so I didn't say, because I guess he was dreaming that he had gotten up to go to the bathroom. But here's the weird thing: the kid on the bottom bunk didn't wake up.
Yep.
He slept right through it. And then the kid climbed back up, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, I'm trying not to burst out laughing. And the next day, the kid on the bottom bunk wakes up and he's like, why do I smell like pee? And I just started laughing at that point. Poor guy.
Neil, you speak to a basic, people may not like Freud. They may not, there's a lot of Freudian psychoanalysis people don't like. But I will tell you this. When I was a young child, I would go out.
That was what, like 300-400 years ago?
Oh, in the before time. That's a callback. In the before time, in the yesteryear. There was an instance that I would go out to in the common area, because I'm a good atheist Baptist, mind you.
Wait, that's like contradictory somehow.
No. Oh, you only say that as
you were baptized into the atheist religion. Is that it?
Anyone who's like a Baptist atheist understands.
It's not a religion. Sorry.
And I went out to the common area, and which was the staircase downstairs, and I pooed.
Oh, geez.
And I pooed there.
On the stairs.
On the stairs, on the second floor of the house. I might have been like maybe 9 years old. Maybe.
I'm gonna have to report that at work as a near miss.
Oh, sir. As a Baptist atheist, I was like on point. That's what I want to tell you right here and now.
You were
Then I went back to sleep. And then I went back to sleep without thinking about it afterwards. But I was marking my territory, and that's the nature of faith. The nature of faith is the midbrain, the pawns, this is a joke. This is a joke, but it reveals a truth. It reveals a truth. And the fact that religion lives somewhere outside of the neocortex and somewhere in the reptilian brain.
So you were there, like, how many other people were there? Because whoever was there, I think you would be a step above them in this. I'll take my 2 points now. You guys have been great. Make sure you tip your bartenders and servers. Try the veal. It's excellent.
Well, at some point, and I just want to say this, is that I'm awfully close to monetization. I know this is one of the things that all of us, like non-capitalists, want to talk about, but at some point soon, this may actually gather you some kind of monetary reimbursement.
I will expect that check of 35 cents to be paid out to Mr. Mikey Primus Seamus Famine.
And sir, it will be PayPal to your account. That's what it will be.
All that, comma, the 815 atheist. This is
and you know, as a comedian, I'm like offended that someone is above me in terms of comedy points. How is that possible?
In your face.
Well, the thing about comedy points is the first thing you got to do is get a hold of that goddamn scoreboard. Then you make sure you never lose. It's a good
Well,
way
that's
to
why
be.
a lot of comedians don't want to do things like this. You know, there are a lot of comedians who just want to do their thing on their platform, and they don't want to go out. They don't want to go out into the wild world of the internet.
Yeah.
And there's a conspiracy, and I'm not going to tell you. You know, let me tell you this: there's a conspiracy that once you get into the internet, OMFG, oh my fictitious God, there's like the free market, and if you can't compete, comedians well.
You're doomed forever. I'm just switching my camera back.
Oh, I was going to say you just disappeared in a big cloud of smoke, but
Poof. So Andy, you're a comedian.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're familiar with Mr. Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle is a fucking gift from the non-fictitious gods, though he would say that he would disagree with that statement. But go on.
I have a lot of issues with Dave's behavior of the last couple months.
Oh, please tell me. And you know, I just want to tell everyone this is the third act. This is the third act of the show right here. This is where Andy doesn't remember anything. But this is where the magic lives right here.
And
tell me about Dave Chappelle.
So Dave did his little short stand-up piece, and I forget the name of it, but it got released on like Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that, where he was more or less asking everybody to not watch the Chappelle Show on HBO Max, and then that he had requested that Netflix take Chappelle Show off of there.
Stop right there. If I could make a bullet point, is that the reason why Dave said that is because they were effing him. He had signed a pact in blood when he was younger, and anyone who's a comedian understands this. They will F you, as in terms of comedy clubs, as in terms of and there is a comedy institutional kind of thing out there, and they will screw you.
Fair enough. I think Dave is 100% exempt from that, because Dave did not take any money for doing the show, as he stated, but he has 50% of the rights.
I'm sorry,
He's
a friend of mine posted on Facebook, and I'm cracking up right now.
But he got 50. He got
say the truth. Neil. Say the truth.
Huh?
Say the truth. What's out there?
Well, I'd have to share a screen again, but
all right, share the screen if you want to share the screen.
I got my spot.
All right, hang on 1 second here.
All right, but you know, in terms of, and I don't want to be an apologist for comedians because I'm not, because I'm a jerk and I'm unpopular, and being a jerk and unpopular means that I'm not a friend to anyone, to tell you the truth.
Right. You're not a jerk and you're not unpopular, so. But here, this is going to make you laugh. You're going to want to see. You're going to want to watch this all day.
Here we go. Add to stream.
Jesus.
Nice. Neil, bring in the conversation to a whole nother level, brother. That's great.
That's fucking hilarious.
Speaking of comedians taking a licking,
nice segue.
So I tried. Dave didn't get any money from the Chappelle Show because I like business moves from like comedians and like actors and people starting up their own kind of stuff. Like I watch this stuff, especially when it comes to black people, because I like to see how the money moves and how they got their deal across and how they do with it. Like I don't like Diddy's music, but he does a lot of shit. 50 Cent does a lot of shit. Joe Budden does a lot of shit.
I gotta tell you, a lot of they are on my playlist. You know, if we're talking about like, he did it. Yeah, they're on my playlist.
Like the way that they move as moguls, like of the last decade, is impressive, and I have to like pay attention to what they did and didn't do. But the OG of all that is Dave Chappelle, because he turned down the show money because he wanted the DVD money, and everybody told him, "Oh, that's so stupid." The Chappelle Show is the #1 syndicated TV DVD series that has ever been. It beat Frasier, it beat Seinfeld, it beat Friends. It is the most popular. Yeah. There is no way that Dave Chappelle was able to just, I don't know, abscond off to South Africa for a couple of years and then come back to Ohio and buy fucking acres of land and do all that with no money. So for him to run out on that stage and say, I never got paid for that show.
There is truth and not truth in that. The thing is that when you're a performer, you can say that, yeah, I didn't get anything monetarily in a concrete way from that show, but look, I blew up because of that show. We would not know Dave Chappelle's name unless it was because of the Dave Chappelle show and the art that engendered. He may not have gotten any money concretely from that show, but
something, but he didn't get like the big star payout.
Yeah,
from Comedy Central. He turned that down. He said, I just want the rights to my DVDs.
Comedy Central. Just because you have a show, you know, and what you just saw here, ladies and gentlemen, small furry animals, is that I have censored my thoughts about Comedy Central. And just because you're on Comedy Central or or you have a Netflix special does not mean that you have hit the jackpot. You know, Gary Gulman is like a classic example of this. Gary Gulman drives around in a Camry, right? A very respectable car.
Damn, but it's a better deal than a Tesla, I hear.
Well, but Gary Gulman's had like a special and done all this other stuff. And the thing is, and this is the thing about late stage capitalism, if I'm going to throw it, have we been doing this for an hour and 37 minutes? So we haven't talked about late stage capitalism. The thing is that if you're an artist, you have to build your own team.
Yes.
And if you're not, then you're depending on people like YouTube. You're depending on people like Netflix to work on your team, and that's a sucker's bet. You can't do that.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Neil.
Dr. Mordecai Cassius Marcellus Jones says Dave bought GameStop.
GameStop. How about that? Screwing people. I love it. You know, those Reddit people.
They're going to do it again. They'll do it again.
They're going to do it all the time from now on. Every quarter, that's going to happen.
Yeah. I was talking to my girlfriend today. And it's like, we have to be like really up on GameStop to figure out what the latest, what the newest scam is. Yep. Whether it's like Dogecoin, which I think is the newest scam.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I mean, now the guys are trying to stop the whole stock of it. Like the guys that they were taking all the money from. They're trying to stop it so that and you can't do that. That's illegal.
Well, the reason why it's illegal is because the people who are in power make it illegal.
Right. It's okay for them to do it, but you average people's, no, we're not going to let you guys do that.
For all of you punters out there, I'm sorry. You're not important enough. You don't have enough money. And that's the great thing about this Reddit thing about GameStop is that there was this cabal, a positive cabal in my mind, is that they're like, we're going to screw the hedge fund. And the hedge fund people are evil. They are evil. I mean, they may not be evil in terms of the individual people in the hedge fund, but the fact that it's a thing in capitalism, that's wrong. Mm-hmm. And the fact that these hedge fund, the fact that the Reddit people are like, well, we're going to take it to them. We're going to take it to them. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, me too. Me too. What it demonstrates is the little guys like us, we have enough power if we get in a large enough group to do some damage.
I will defer all of my comments on it until I talk to Swede. I'm waiting on the latest Irish Swede video to tell me like why, like, because he'll get into all the financial rules and like what rules they were breaking, why they were put up, and all that stuff. Like, I want to see his kind of breakdown on it because I feel the same way as you guys, but I also have like that nagging thought in the back of my head, like I might have missed something.
I'm going to take my corkscrew here or my bottle opener and say that, you know, if just because you have a bunch of money and you can short something and make money off of suckers, and all of a sudden those so-called suckers determine, hey, we're going to sucker the suckers, well done. Mm-hmm. Well done on that. Because that's the nature of the system. And that's capitalism. The fact that capitalism is there to germinate, to grow on the bones and on the flesh of the worker class. That's just not right.
Yeah,
that's not right.
Speaking of growing on the bones of capitalism, Chappelle did his last special, or his last like little stand-up thingy, and he, hope you guys have fun with this Trump bullshit. I'm rich. Sucks to be poor. And I was like, come on, guys, don't fucking watch it on Netflix. I won't get any money. Well, you already got paid, Dave. And this is like, it was so disingenuous to anyone who's been like keeping track of the score, because he made his money. Like, he made a boss move back in the day. So now that they're trying to like take his syndicated show and put it out there again so that they can make some money off of it, they've been holding on to the rights on it this entire time. And now there was a Netflix. You want this? HBO Max or Go, whatever one is. You want this? And they're like, yeah, sure. And now Dave's like, that's bullshit. I'm not getting any money off of it. Well, you didn't know that streaming platforms were going to be a thing. And you didn't actually know that DVD was going to actually work out in your favor. And you took a risk and you nailed it. Great fucking job. You don't get part of the fucking streaming shit too, Dave. Sorry. Like, we're not going to dig up Beethoven and give him shit because Spotify put his fucking music out there. That's not how it fucking works, bro. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You got your...
Yeah, well, Beethoven's well past the grandfather clause.
I don't see how he's ever part of it, because there was no such thing as streaming anything when he signed his deal. That's not the company's fault. Like, I'm definitely always on the artist side, but it's not their fault that you sold away your shit into syndication and they found a way of streaming the syndicated content. Like, that's not their fault. You signed that away. You made your money. How about this, Dave? Write a new fucking joke where you don't insult poor people or trans people, and then maybe you'll make more money. But he has to fall back on the old shit and then make us all feel guilty and bad for watching shows that we used to love to watch. Like, he's really lost it. I think he's lost his connection to the people.
I think you can love something and hate something at the same time. I know it's complex, but on one side you can say it's like, I appreciate Dave as a performer.
He's great.
But on the other hand, you gotta like move on. You gotta like and Dave Chappelle's not a. And tell me if I'm wrong on this, but Dave Chappelle's not liberal.
No. He's rich black, which is its own political class and racial class. He is a rich black. So he is allowed to do a lot of things that all the rest of us, me's, are not allowed to do. But he's also rich, so he's above a lot of the other people, the proletariat in this country. He gets to move and operate in the way that he sees fit, and it goes on his every whim. And because of that, he's never had anyone make money off of him like this. And he doesn't know how to deal with it. I
disdain, and you know, I don't want to be an apologetics for me, and as soon as someone starts throwing me money, I'm like thinking to myself, "Is this a trap?" I'm like Admiral Akbar, and I'm like, "Is this a trap?" And then I try to go into Tyler Durden mode, and it's like, you know what? Despite whatever anyone supports me or not supports me,
Damn it.
I'm going to do the thing that I'm going to do because that's the thing. And that's like Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius thing. So he's a fucking whore too. Right? You know what I'm talking about? Marcus Aurelius is a whore, right? And anyone who's just watching this, you're like an hour and 45 minutes into the stream. And the fact that Marcus Aurelius is a whore, it's just fact. It is just fact. The idea that he let Commodus be like the next emperor, is like so absurd. It's and the Praetorian Guard had to like strangle him in the Colosseum. They had to strangle him. Yeah,
it's a trap.
I lay my trap card down in defense mode.
What? No.
I don't know how to.
The thing is like, you have to be able to be, you have to understand, and to, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's all mystery, and
but
as soon as you make the implicit explicit, you're kind of lost.
So do you agree with me in my anger with Dave? Because I think Dave is trying to play him on something that he shouldn't. Like, he has made more money from comedy than any young comedian would ever aspire to, and he did it his way. He got property rights early in the fucking game and outsold fucking Friends. Like, you fucking did the thing, and now that Netflix is a thing. Now you're like, well, no, my kingdom must span as far as the eye can see. Like, no, dude, you don't get to just do that after the fact.
Capitalism makes us whores. Capitalism makes us whores. And the thing is, you have to be able to say that I don't care how much effing money you throw at me, it does not matter.
And that's what he did with the show. When like some jokes got kind of, he wasn't liking where the show was going. He said, 50 million, suck my dick, 50 million. I'm out of here. And he just left.
You have to be able to say that time after time after time, though. And that's when people become weak. And that's when people, the individual person says that, maybe I should sell out.
Yeah.
I'm ready to sell out.
You're like the Grateful Dead. Jerry Garcia said back in the day, of course, it's like, I'm not willing, I'm just waiting to have people throw enough money at me to sell out.
I'm waiting on that big old check. I'm like, and all right, guys, and this is brought to you by our friends at Pepsi. Pepsi, one of my, like, I wish Pepsi would fund my dumb ass. Yeah, I'm saying Pepsi's awesome. Coke sucks. Like, I'm like, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Although made by the same company as Pepsi, I prefer Dr. Pepper myself.
No, I like Dr. Pepper.
I'm not I don't dig the 7-Up Sprite shit.
No, 7-Up Dr. Pepper is the same company.
Dr.
Here in Canada, they're all brewed by Grey Beverage.
Oh.
All right. I'm going to head to the head, gentlemen. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourself. What are you, Linda Richmond, all of a sudden?
Yeah, just talk amongst yourselves. I got to go walk the dog and get a new fresh cup of coffee.
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 Don't shame me for my shitty ass.
Just had to get that in
there. I said, I saw what you did there.
Linda Richmond? Why?
I'll be back.
Right. So let's talk about Boston. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man. They make
every single time you say, let me talk about Boston. Let me tell you, Boston, we are shackled to a corpse in terms of our history. I'll say that.
We got 10 minutes left. Go fucking pee, okay?
Right? Oh, the Canadian speaks truth.
You got to do the maple leaf.
I don't even know how many points there are on the maple leaf.
9,
how many?
12, 11, technically.
11?
Well, there's 3, 3, 3, and then the 2 at the bottom by the stem.
Holy shit! Is that real?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I wouldn't even.
I live here, dude. I know these things.
I'd pick up a maple leaf. I'm like, this is a big ass oak leaf. Like I wouldn't.
Oak leaves look totally different. What are you talking about?
I don't know the difference between the damn leaves. I live in corn country. We have like 5 trees in the whole fucking city. Like it's all corn around us.
Well, apparently there's only one in Edmonton because that's where everyone in South Park was going to meet. They were going to meet by the tree in Edmonton.
The tree.
Yeah, the tree in Edmonton. That's when little what's his name there? Kyle's little brother.
Butters.
The Canadian kid. Not Butters.
I don't know anything about the show. I'm just gonna throw out names that I know.
But Butters. Cartman. No.
Mr. Towley.
Mr. What?
Towel. There's a towel.
Tally. Wanna get high? That guy?
Yeah, that's his brother, right?
No, it's not his brother. Ike. Ike is his brother.
I don't know.
And Ike wants to save the princess.
At this point, is it worth me going back to watch South Park?
Fuck yeah. I can recommend some great episodes to you, especially the premiere episode where the alien abduction shit. That's hilarious.
Is there like I wonder if there's like a super cut list of like
probably
must watch episodes, because I'd rather do that because look, dude, I already have an anime addiction. I can't be starting watching all these fucking other animated shit.
The girlfriend's all over it. She's like, Ike is Canadian. He's adopted by oh fuck, see, my brain doesn't work anymore.
It's better work because you gotta have a joke for
Kyle. He's Kyle's little brother who's adopted. Yeah, the anal probe episode. The girlfriend knows.
Hi, the girlfriend.
The girlfriend is much smarter.
You had to think about that, which just added to the whole joke right there. The girlfriend is much smarter. That's the word I'm looking for.
She actually went to a non-Massachusetts university. And it's like, yeah, I mean, she's still okay.
When I was little, I thought the word was massive two tits.
Massive two tits.
Yeah, massive two tits.
You may laugh at that, but in the next, I mean, I may live to see this when we secede from the Union.
Oh, good luck with that.
Oh, I know, right?
Good luck.
Chicago, when I first went to Chicago, it's like, oh, this is America smart. That's because America smart. Yeah, it's like America smart because, growing up in the Boston area, it's like, we're not really part of America. We're just kind of who we are in the world. But I went to what's that?
Sorry, we make clam chowder.
We make like the proper clam chowder and not
Agreed.
that New York stuff.
Fucking Manhattan. What's up with that?
Oh,
I lived in New York for like 5 months. Wasn't a fan, but I was in / on Long Island.
It's fun to visit. I wouldn't.
Yeah, it was. I was like, this is it, huh?
It's noisy all the fucking time. So it's like, yeah, no, I don't need this.
Go ahead, Andy. You were saying though about New York. It's not New York stuff. Something.
Yeah, something. I don't even know. I'm not gonna lie. Neil has been in the late innings here with me on this show. It's like, and he starts these threads and then they disappear.
Peter out.
Into the ether. That's what.
This mysterious ether that keeps getting.
Well, I will say this. I will say this is that Massachusetts.
We know you will.
States matter. States matter, and the fact that we will accept you, Mr. Famine, you and yours, into the Commonwealth.
Oh
and
no, you were talking about Chicago, and last time you were here in Chicago, something about Chicago.
Yeah, it's kind of like Massachusetts. It's not.
You said America was smart, or you like?
No, America is not smart.
No, when you went to Chicago, you're like, oh, okay, America's smart, or something like that, and then we started talking about chowder.
Yeah, I threw it off.
Yeah,
I'm always the guy to derail shit.
Well, Canadians are nothing but trouble.
That's because I live beside a railroad track. You can literally hear the train go by every couple hours.
Having lived in like a few different states, Chicago's just boring as hell because like the city is the city and it's larger than most cities, I should say. But then you get about 50 miles out, which is about where I'm at. General ass shit, just normal ass, regular ass.
Define normal.
It's just like there's cornfields of some variety or some sort of agricultural things.
That's not
Like,
normal. I don't have cornfields around here.
but you have something of agricultural.
Mr. Famine, you
No,
should
they
have
have-
cornfields equals racism as F.
Yeah, that's what I'm
We have-
saying.
We have
That's
cranberry
normal.
fields.
That's normal in America.
The thing is, here in the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts, within the 95 belt, you would be welcome. And sure, there's some, and let me tell you, if you're here within Somerville, Cambridge, then it's not a bad place to live in. This is the left bank of America. Somerville, Cambridge is the left bank of America.
No, but see, just I think you guys just have your racist people are just more easily hidden because out here we just have to look for cornfields and it's like I smell it in the air. Like you can just tell it's nearby. Y'all don't grow shit. Y'all get all your shit from the ocean.
And I will tell you this: is that whenever you Google like Southie or Boston, there'll be something from the 1970s of some white Irish dude from Boston. You know this image.
Yeah.
You know this image smashing the American flag
Through a parked car.
You know. However, in Cambridge, Somerville, we're better. We're okay. In a sliding scale.
Little
That's
garden party. That's how Long Island is. Like Long Island is very New York until you get about halfway across, and then you're in Martha's Vineyard, and then it turns into this whole other creature altogether, and it's like
I'll tell you this. I'm not gonna say what I think on Martha's Vineyard. No, I'm not gonna say that. And
what do you think Neil would say about it?
I don't know anything about it.
Proxy. This is a proxy. You're not saying this. This is what you think Neil would say. You see this? Yeah.
getting into Neil into trouble. That's what we are.
Yes. Push
Blame Canada.
Blame Canada. To tell you the truth, I have to tell you. I don't know if if Joe Biden is like a firewall in between us and fascism, and maybe is, maybe isn't. But I think of this as 4 years of me getting my kid to Canada or New Zealand, to tell you the truth, Neil. And
I wouldn't argue with you there. New Zealand's phenomenal.
And me getting the F out of this effing country.
Same. Like I'm for the last year and a half, I've been trying to convince my girl. I'm like, Sweden is great this time of year.
Sweden, Denmark, Norway. Those are
I was like,
Yeah,
I go work at the Volvo plant painting Volvos.
They have Volvo plants here too, right?
Yeah, but they're here.
Well, I meant Canada.
Oh, there you go. There, that's fine too.
the best thing about Canada, and I'm going to say something, is the fact that you got three oceans. You got the Atlantic and the Pacific. Mm-hmm. And you guys, it's like maybe you're going to get invaded by America at some point. And you've been invaded a couple of times.
We've been invaded? We've never been invaded.
1812, during the Revolutionary War, we went up to Montreal, I believe.
Yeah. Then we came down and burnt down your fucking White House. So screw you.
Yeah, let's talk about the polar bears, Neil. Let's talk about the polar bears invading your country. You haven't done shit about them.
Here it is. This is why you've tuned in to the America versus Canada beef.
How about your moose problem, huh? You're just gonna let that slide.
Moose where I live, dude. They don't come down this far. However, we do get bears and cougars and wolverines, and raccoons and shit that I've seen.
Cougars, no
coyotes, or sorry, actually now we get the new the new mutated offspring of coyotes that have mated with
The Kai
wolves.
wolf. The Kai wolf, yeah.
Coyotes, they're called. But yes,
I haven't even heard about the
big.
Kai wolves. Tell me about the Kai wolves.
The coyotes they're offspring of coyote wolf hybrids, and they're big fucking animals, and they are fearless.
Yeah, fuck that.
You'll walking down the street and you figure, oh look, there's a rather large coyote, because they still look more coyote than they do wolf, but you'll think, oh, it'll turn, walk away,
It'll dart
see
and run
me
off.
coming, and it'll dart off, right? And I'm like, he's not darting. And then it starts coming right for you, and you're like, "Oh shit!" Because he'll beat me in a foot race, that's for sure. But
it's kicking time.
Yeah, but yeah, they're pretty fucking sceney. They're pretty scary. Sorry.
We only have to worry about wild turkeys here in the greater Boston area.
Yeah,
Nothing about
Canadian geese down there; they'll kick their asses for you.
Well, geese. The biggest thing we have to worry about the geese is the poo.
Oh, yeah. It's so annoying. Oh, and I've been meaning to say this on Neil's show for like 1,000 weeks, but I keep forgetting. There's this little like retention pond for like the subdivision I live in. It is filled with about 5 trillion Canada geese.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many of them.
They're on strict orders from the Prime Minister to go bug the Americans.
The thing is, the water won't freeze because the geese are always in it, stirring it about. It is the craziest thing. Like, I've never seen them in such mass right next to, like, and I remember being like a little kid, like you go out on a bike ride and you're going to meet your friends at the park. And then you have to go past this lake. And then there's like a goose just right in the middle of like the bike path. So you skid to a stop. And you look at the goose. The goose looks at you. He's like, don't try to go around me because I'm going to get you. If you try to go around me, I'm going to get you. Turn around.
That Neil has to be an apologist for Canadian geese who have like health insurance. These geese, they're like, sure, come at me, bro, but I have health insurance back home.
And they hiss, and they put their wings back all scary and stuff like that. Like, and they go after you. They're just mean little
fucking necks out, and they come right at you.
They're like a little cobra, and they just come at you hissing, little tongue sticking out, the little bird tongue, which is always weird. Why do birds have tongues? Push food back, I guess, but it's just weird.
I think it's a lizard. I'm sorry, maybe a dinosaur kind of issue.
I gotta get dapper on here.
Of course, they need fucking tongues.
Why the hell does a bird need a tongue?
To do tongue S. See, I start in the later innings. I start like cursing.
I was like, going to get a little dirtier.
They need to do like tongue S kind of stuff with their tongues.
Was that supposed to
like the tongues, right?
Was that supposed to not be cursing? Because I'm pretty sure I cursed this entire time.
Well, there's cursing and there's cursing.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
I didn't drop the C-bomb.
You're pretty much. Why, you can say cunt. It's fine. They said a lot in English.
Oh, hey, how about that? Well, the lucky thing about, okay.
Just means asshole over there. Weird.
How many times have you seen Train Spotting? And that was yeah. So that was an epiphany. It's like, oh, what? I can say that word?
You have to use it in the British context, though. You see, it means something different. It's like calling somebody an a-hole or a bad person. The guy was a cunt or whatever.
Yeah.
But here it's a different thing.
It's totally different. I was hanging out with CJ Worldman, who was an atheist back in the day, and he was talking at a conference. And we were just hanging out, right? I picked him up from the airport. I brought him to this conference over in Waltham, which is in Massachusetts, by the way. For those of you, it's a Waltham, Massachusetts thing. And we were at this crappy Marriott bar, and he was talking about the intricacies of this C word.
Welcome back, Derek.
The intricacies of the C word. And I was saying, it's like, well, here is the C word here in the States. And he's like, oh, no, he's Australian. He's Australian. He's like, no, it's just a term of endearment here.
They're the worst culprits. Don't
It's
ask
funny,
an Australian about what's appropriate to say in Australia because they will tell you a bunch of wild shit.
Here we use the genitalian different version. We call everyone a dick when they're being an asshole, right?
Right.
Over there, it's cunt, right?
And to tell you the truth, I think that when you throw out that word, it's somewhat, I mean, I can't even say that in a positive way. But if you're going to say like a dick, right, you should be able to say the C word too at the same time. But
people might jump on you.
It is a horrible word here in the States. And
not so much here.
Like, it's like the last battle of Carthage, where the Romans just like salted the earth, basically. It's like you can't even use that word here. It's like, really? You can't use that word here?
But your president can go grab him by the pussy, or your ex-president.
Like MFer is more acceptable than cunt, and that's crazy.
Yeah, unless you're in a proper Irish bar here, and this is, and a lot of this is just me saying it's like you should really come to Boston.
Well, I actually did my 23andMe. While being almost like 70-something% Nigerian, I got a quarter Irish. Or no, quarter English.
Wow. I'm a quarter English too.
Yeah. I have a white grandfather.
Oh.
So I was just like, see, Mom, I told you were mixed. This whole time I knew you were mixed.
There was this comedian in the Boston area who said that she was she's her family is from Nigeria, and they would introduce her, and she was doing comedy in the Boston area, and they would put her into like this hierarchy of shite, right? They'd be like, oh, this person, this sibling got this PhD, and this sibling did this master's degree, and this person, she got stuck in a gutter somewhere in Lagos. And if you know anything about gutters in Lagos, then that's weird that she survived that.
Like Lagos is like if you mix New York and Vegas together in Nigeria.
In 1970s America, if you were gonna like mash up, that's how bad it is.
It's the richest city in the country, but there's in like the Center for Education, like I'm still learning more and more about the motherland and all that shit like that. But it's super crazy, and they had a whole bunch of shit with cops over there too recently.
Sure.
I've been meaning to talk to it on the bin. Like it's like straight up U.S. invading Iraq police. Going door to door, just like kicking in doors and rounding people up, like bad. Yeah. And the people have been crying out to the government without any kind of response. Just like, well,
And when I think about what is worth talking, when I think about talking about things on either my blog, cheap plug, laughing in disbelief, on Pathos, or on here on the channel, it's like, yeah, I could talk about international things, like the fact that Nigeria is really pre-antebellum.
Yeah.
United States. See,
Yep. That makes perfect sense.
Nigeria is pre-antebellum United States of America. And here's the controversy. It's either Islam or Christianity. There is the North and the South. The North happens to be the thing that's the problem. But people aren't going to want to click on that. People don't want to hear that.
I'm going to make a conscious effort to do more stories, exposing a lot more of that, so that it becomes more of a part of the consciousness. Because especially being in like so many atheist circles, this is a very easy to spot area where religion has gone afoul. And I'm sure if I reached out long enough and hard enough, I'd be able to find some people over there that are willing to talk about it, and we could bring some more attention to it.
There is, I just get angry. I have to tell you.
I'm fired up right now. Like I don't even know why I brought it up. I'm fucking, my heart is fucking pumping. Fucking pissed. Oh
Yeah. It's people like, especially now, right? They like, well, crap on Christopher Hitchens on how religion poisons everything, right? But when you look at how things are either in Nigeria or in India,
yeah.
it
or
it really, there's like a ton of areas, if people were just awake and aware, that it really does. It pollutes the conversation and how to make the world livable for our children.
Have you heard about Hong Kong and what's been happening over there? That
What?
Now mainland China has pretty much started locking up all the people that were pro democracy in Hong Kong because they're fucking bullshit. They don't have a prime minister or president, but the leader of the council of whatever. It's a long fucking acronym or whatever.
They have in essence a dictator, pretty much.
Well, no, not in Hong Kong.
No, in China.
Kong, yeah. The supreme command leader, or whatever the fuck they call that guy. But Xi. They've just been rounding up all the people who have been pro-democracy in Hong Kong within like the last month. Like 54 people, I think, at this point.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. And they're all like lawmakers. They're all activists or lawmakers. So like if the American government just like scooped up AOC, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris and like put them in jail, like that's essentially what they just did over there.
Let me go back to anger for a minute, because that's completely against my brand. But the idea that Enlightenment values count. Enlightenment values matter. And the idea that governments are putting the hammer on these values, whether it's here in the States, thankfully, the hammer is getting a little softer. It's not as much as it was during the Trump era. But we have to be aware that we should be striving, and this is what I have felt, we should be striving to free people here within the States, but we should be trying to liberate people abroad too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or empowering them to liberate themselves. Because if we try to liberate them on our own cognition, what ends up happening is Afghanistan or Iraq, where we go in there and we kill everybody in power, and then we leave these horrible power vacuums. And that's what happened with the gangs in Chicago. That's what happens with all it just gets bloody for the people that are on the street and they have to live in those areas.
It's a tough pill to take for a lot of people, is that if you're going to commit yourself to the community, then you have to commit yourself to the community.
Yeah.
It just can't be lip service.
You're muted still, Neil. You muted yourself, Neil. There you go.
Oh, is that better? All right.
Yep.
I'm just going to, sorry, I blew my nose, and nobody needs to hear that. I'm going to address a little.
Was it a one nostril or two nostril?
One at a time. I go side to side, but that's just me.
Smart.
Anyway, Abram Perkins mentioned that he saw a snake that had the pattern of a diamondback, but it had no rattle. Most likely a bull snake, Abram. They are mimics of the rattlesnakes. But they'll hiss, but they don't have a rattle. And they're also pretty tough little snakes, but they're harmless. If you don't piss them off, they're harmless.
Are they constrictors?
No. Well, I don't even know if a bull snake is considered.
Yeah, I'm not going to say nobody.
Let's see
what they are. And I don't want to throw back to like the selfish gene of Professor Dawkins, but they are someone who can fool the other side to being the thing that they are not. And that is smart.
Smaller heads, though. So
smaller heads.
And they don't have pits above the nostrils like any viper type, which a rattlesnake is. Like those snakes, they don't have the pits. And they are non-venomous. So
yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that if you can look like and act like a non-venomous snake, then why would you need the venom?
Like a king snake and
no.
a pearl snake.
It imitates, yeah, exactly. It imitates the look of a rattlesnake, but without the rattle.
Right. Because they're, once again, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but if you're a pigeon that can act like a dove, then all the more power to you.
We have them all over the place here.
Oh, well.
Andy, I hate to interrupt you here. Pigeons are doves. They're actually called rock doves.
Yes, they're beigeish with the little black circles and
Right.
rings around the necks and stuff.
I might have been mixing my analogies there, and you are correct to correct me, sir.
you were mixing your beers earlier, so
I was mixing. Well, that's the problem, Neil. Right, that's the problem.
I got 6 more hours of drinking, so I'm trying to.
You gotta pace yourself out. You gotta pace yourself out.
I've leveled out.
Pace it.
I'm not going to have another one until the show starts going in 45 minutes. So
I hear that that's a place that we've been doing this for 2 hours and 15 minutes,
right. And
maybe we should start winding whatever we're doing. I don't even know what we're doing, but maybe we should start winding this up.
I think we should. I still would like to have a little bit of food before I go live and stuff too. So,
well,
and
what's your food choice, Neil? What's your food choice?
Tonight, I'm pretty much left to whatever the roommate cooks up, and tonight is chicken pesto. So,
yeah,
get some nice pesto with some noodles and chicken, and nice good stuff.
Which is something that I'm allergic to.
Pesto
and chicken.
You want some? Look, I'm trying to kill him.
Are you a vegetarian? Are you a vegan?
No, I just can't have poultry or tree nuts or shellfish or strawberries, and I'm intolerant to a lot of soy. And don't cut your grass, please. And do you have a cat? I can't have that either. Oh, is that a dog? Yeah, I have allergy pills too. Like my fiance came with cats, so I had to find like the strongest allergy pill I could take.
All right.
Because I didn't want to lose her, and the cats are cool. Like I don't mind having cats as pets, but
cats are great.
I just couldn't breathe.
They're pretty independent. You just got to be there to feed them once in a while, and they
independent my ass.
They have moments.
These are the neediest cats ever. What's that? You're 36 seconds late on feeding me. Meow, meow, meow. Well, they just act like you can hear.
There's a trick to that, Mikey. Don't have set feeding times. They'll never figure it out.
They don't care. We had set feeding times, but then me and my girl were both feeding them at the same time. So anytime they see any of us like get out of bed, leave the bathroom, get up from a chair, those are all triggers that it is time to feed. And they just whine all day I'm like, there's still food in the dish.
Oh yeah, but it's old now.
It's stale.
No self-respecting cat's gonna eat old food. Come on. The fucking liquid around the food leaves the chunky shit and is like.
I feel like I should do a Puritan kind of like a puritanical Baptist kind of training session for animals. It's like you're lucky, or child rearing. You're lucky to get what you get, and there you go.
Yeah. So leave it long enough, they'll eat it.
Yeah, Katie don't like it in the first hour. Katie don't like it in the second hour. Third hour. That dry ass kibble's looking pretty good.
What's ass kibble?
So go to onlyfans.com/@laughpurgatory and check out all the ass kibble you can stomach.
If you haven't tried
on that ass kibble feedback,
the ass kibble, you're likely to say ass kibble isn't great, but the proof is in the tasting of the pudding, my friends. That's what it is.
A pudding, too. Oh, wow. Ass kibble. Now we're just getting
a little dollop of that pudding on there. It's not too bad.
Mikey, man, thanks for joining us today. It's been awesome having you on here.
This has been a brilliant dumpster fire. But if we're going to be a dumpster fire, we're a dumpster fire for the non-bad people.
We have to include guys like that if we want to be a dumpster fire. I mean, he does host the Bin podcast, for crying out loud.
Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot my hat was backwards.
There you go.
There you go.
You can say this. Yeah, I mean, you can have the cap on forwards, and we're not going to cancel you, sir.
No.
I mean, people can try.
Short for dumpster fire.
I mean, good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have a following. I just have like my loyal patrons and my four ridiculous friends, and we make it work every week. So good luck trying to cancel us because we're cancel proof because we love everybody and we advocate for the people who need advocating for.
Yep.
Good luck trying to cancel the good guy.
We afflict the comfortable and we comfort the afflicted.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Exactly. Perfect.
Neil, the 604 Atheist, brother, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at 604 Atheist. You can find me on Facebook. I'm Neil Bernstein on Facebook, which is my actual name. You can find me on YouTube or Neil the 604 Atheist. You can also find me on TikTok now, as I've done a couple of little videos. I'm going to start doing quick little spots when I'm live in the after parties. I'll do, hey, we're live with tonight's guest at the after party on, and then you'll be able to click a link or something. But yeah, and of course, Instagram, of course, because it's attached to Facebook, but I'd never put anything on there intentionally. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
All right. The dark.
I have a link tree, so if you want to see my link tree,
link tree. Everyone has a link tree. Should I have a link tree, Neil?
You should have a link tree.
I have no good jobs. I've never had a good job. I have an okay job now, but I've never. That's why Linktree. I was like, I don't want my friends to know what I do for a living. It's embarrassing. It's always sucked. It doesn't put me in the best light.
You're late, James.
I have always been the shield and the hammer. That's what I will say. Mr. Famine, where can people find you online, sir?
You can find me on Twitter at We the Deviants. And every Thursday at 2 p.m. Central, you can catch the Bin podcast. We go live, and then that goes out to all of your favorite podcastier places. You can get the audio version as well. And then Wednesdays, I have DOA, Dig on America podcast. Andy, I got to get you on there, and Neil eventually too. Sorry, Neil. We're scheduled.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's fine.
Coast.
I'll come on whenever you're like hard up for a guest. I'm like filler.
Don't tempt me with a good time. But you can always catch me on DOA on Wednesdays at 10:30 Central. That's a late night show. But then the audio is also available, and then the Bin on Thursdays. And then I'm with Neil every other day of the week. Oh, and Nat One Heroes, which is coming out on
your Dungeons and Dragons fun.
February. We're hoping we'll be ready to go by February-ishness. And that'll be a drop on Sundays. You can catch me, Genesis Undead, Aisla, and Jonathan, our Dungeon Master, Dishonest Ape, playing my first D&D campaign. Let me roll another D20.
Excellent.
Will we succeed?
All right. Do I have any modifiers? Oh, that is a 14.
Not bad.
I'm going to imagine.
Modifiers on that. My name is Andy Hall. You're here on my channel. Thanks for showing up. We have Steve Hill, Satanist extraordinaire, coming on. He's going to be dropping down some wisdom about race, culture here in the States. It's going to be tomorrow, Sunday. I've been drinking too much. I don't even know what the date is. It's going to be tomorrow.
The 31st.
Thank you. At 10:30 p.m., he's going to be talking about his conversation with that Quisling from Atheist Alliance.
Wait, February 31st?
It's tomorrow. He's going to be here.
What time zone?
Oh, I see what you did there, Neil. I see what you did there.
What time zone?
Well, the Imperial time zone, which is Eastern time.
Imperial.
The bestest time zone, which is, of course, Boston time, whatever that may be.
Whatever, pal. We get to see the sunrise before you do.
Oh.
Wait, no, wait. We get to see the sunset. No, wait.
There you go.
Never mind.
I was like,
Never mind.
That's not how that works.
No, it's the other way around. Never mind.
Neil, the 64th flat earther.
everyone who has watched whatever this dumpster fire is.
It's been great.
Atheists drinking out loud. We just want to be who we are in the world, and maybe we push the Overton window towards a kinder, gentler place. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. Nothing else is a bunch of fart jokes and air.
Basically, what we do is we try to just show people that, guess what? Atheists aren't real dickheads all the time. We are actually average people. Just don't carry it on.
There is a path. That's what it is. And you don't have to be shackled to religious fan fiction, to Judeo-Christian fan fiction. That's what it is.
Wear funny shirts that are,
Oh, hello. Loving it.
Sarcastic.
I have a shiny shirt on, so I don't want to say anything. This is my last clean shirt. It's laundry day. Leave me alone.
Nothing wrong with that shirt.
All my cool shirts are dirty. I hate Chevys.
Well,
Everyone in the chat, hello. Goodbye. Everyone here. Neil is 604. Mr. Dark Horse of the Apocalypse. Oh, did I? Yeah. Okay. So
see you guys in a month.
I'm hitting the button right here. I'm doing an epic pose.